Hi there and welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be a photography based video, so stay tuned and I'll put you in the picture. So guys, we're going to try some tabletop photography. So what we're going to do is grab a couple of household items, nothing too big, because we're going to try and build a little background, a little scene using the dining table that I've got out here in my conservatory. So just going to grab a few little household items, a couple of 3 bits, and going to try and find something that we can use to make some sort of backdrop, if you like. Things that we've got lying about and things that we can use. I'm just going to sort of grab a few bits and pieces. So let's see what I can come up with. So here we are, we're now looking at my dining table. So we're out in the conservatory, and that does afford us quite a good bit of light, but seems to have clouded up a bit this morning. But anyway, we shall soldier on. Right, so the first thing we're going to need, guys, is I'm going to put something on the table to protect it, in case I scratch it, and I don't want to get into trouble from Karen, my wife. So I'm just going to chuck something on the table. This is just going to protect the table. Now we need something now to support the background, so this is what we're going to use to support the background, so you can see why I protected the table, guys. So that is just a little laptop table that I used. So right, so we need a background. So luckily here we've got my jacket, so you can probably see where this is going to end up, but that's going to go on there, guys. So that's the background. So I'm just going to walk in front of the camera, sorry guys. So there you go, so that's going to be the background. So it will need sort of playing about with once we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is just to put a couple of these little spring-loaded clips up there, and just to sort of try and hold it into place. We'll obviously sort of change this when we actually get ready to go. So that, as you can see, is my background. So we need what, 3 items. So I've sort of assembled 3 items that I think would be worth photographing. So what I will say, guys, is the choice of your background color will depend perhaps on your subject matter. You might want to use a different background depending on your subject, but there's the first one. So that's the first thing we're going to photograph. So you can't probably see it by that is just an ornament, and it's one of these that you put they call it a tea light in there, but I've just put that in there. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to photograph. Right, the next thing is, now this one belongs to Karen. She wants to try a little bit of experimentation with this. So this will be giving the game away to another video if I can actually get it out of the box. But that's the next thing we're going to photograph, guys. Here we go. That is what they call a lens ball. That's going to be a subject of another video, but that's a lens ball. We're going to try and just do a couple of pictures of that. And last, but certainly by no means least, you wait until you see this, guys. How about that? So that is a bottle of Dorset's finest Conquer gin. So yes, so you can put that in the picture, you know, better look at that. So this is Dorset's finest Conquer gin. If you're a gin drinker, I think you'd like that. But anyway, so that's the 3 items that we're going to photograph. So the next thing I'm going to do now, guys, is just set up the camera. So I will bring you back when we've got the camera all set up. So folks, this is the camera I'm going to be using. This is my Nikon D810, and that's going to be coupled with the Nikon 105mm macro lens. Now the settings on the camera, I'm going to shoot everything in RAW. I've always shot in RAW, so I should be shooting in RAW. I'm going to be using in aperture priority. The ASA ISO is set to 200, and basically what I'm going to do, I shall probably bracket the exposure add a bit of plus, bit of minus exposure, play about with different apertures and things like that. But I'm going to try and keep the settings as simple as possible, so I'm not going to be in manual or anything like that. Basically, aperture priority, auto white balance, just everything as simple as I possibly can for this one. What I would suggest, if you are going to try this, put on a tripod if you can. If you haven't got a tripod, guys, and you want a handhold, try and keep your shutter upwards of 60th of a second or higher if you can, but I'm going to be on a tripod, and I'm also going to be using a self timer, so I'm not sort of stabbing up the shutter button and sort of possibly introducing any camera shake. So that's my setup. Now forget this, because you can use anything you want, whatever camera you got, smartphone, compact, and in fact what I'm going to do when I finish this, I'm going to take a couple of photographs, guys, with my little Canon, I think it's a PowerShot S200, and my Samsung Galaxy S9 I think I've got. So as I said, the camera doesn't matter, I'm just using what I've got, but the camera doesn't matter, so if you want to try it, any camera you got. Anyway guys, enough of the waffling, let's take some photographs. So folks, so we are ready to take the photograph, so it's just a matter of making sure that's nice and level, not too many wrinkles in it. Now I'm not going to go through the whole process of taking all the photographs, guys, but what we're going to do is basically I'm going to try at several different apertures and plus and minus exposure, just to play about with it and see which is the best exposure and aperture and whatever combination we can come up with. So as I said, guys, the camera is going to be on aperture priority. We are currently at the minute, let me just have a look and see what we're looking at the minute, guys. So at the minute we are at f3.5 and 125th of a second, so that's what we're going to shoot at the minute. But I said, guys, I'm going to bracket the exposure, try some slow shutter speeds, wider apertures, narrow apertures, and all that sort of thing, guys. Sorry if you can't see me in the picture, guys, but there's not quite enough room for me and the camera and the camcorder and everything else in the picture. But that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to use the self timer. So I'm not going to do all the photographs, but we'll do the first one. So as I said, guys, we're going to be on it's oh, and one thing I did forget to say, on this particular camera I've got it set at spot metering, simply because I want to take a meter reading off the, I don't want to use a wider meter. I want to use just spot, taking a reading basically off the center of the subject, as it were. So are we ready? So I've got the self timer on. I think it's a 5-second self timer on this one. We are on aperture priority and we are ready to go. So if I press this and make sure we're on timer. Yep, are we ready then, guys? There goes the first picture. Counter timing down. Counter timing down? Timer counting down. So that's the first picture, guys. I'm just going to move the camera up a little bit. Ooh, just want a bit more room at the top. So I'll take another one, guys. Just going to tilt it up slightly, not too much. That's going to be there. Yeah, so I'll just do another one, guys, because that was, although I didn't chop the Buddha's head off, I want a bit more space at the bottom. So just sort that out. So right, here we go again. Last one for this one, guys. So self timer, right? So the actual shutter speed's gone up a bit. The sun must have come out, guys. We're now at 1/60th at f3.5. So here we go. So there we are, guys. That's the first picture, or the second picture. Now I'm not going to bore you with all of the picture taking processes. As I said, I'm going to bracket the exposure, so I'll probably take 3 or 4 or 5 pictures of the same thing, and sort of bracket the exposure either way of that. So I will bring you back, guys, when I've done. So for the minute, so there we are, folks. So we're on to our last picture now. So so what this one is, I got this one, got some exposure compensation on this one. So we're on f3.5 and 40th of a second, and we got plus, I think it's +7 on the exposure, so he's overexposing this one a little bit. So there we go. So there we are, guys, that's the last picture with the Nikon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just prove the point that you can do it with your the edge being chopped off. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is going to set up for same sort of setup, guys. I'm going to take some with the little compact, my Canon S200, and also the Samsung, I think it's an Galaxy S9. So just to show that we don't need fancy cameras. So just bear with me, guys, while I set this one up. So guys, I've now swapped over to the Canon PowerShot S200, my little compact. So this one's going to be set on fully auto, and it's going to shoot in JPEG. So what we're going to do, I don't think I've got a self timer on this, and if I have, I ain't got a clue where it is. So it's just going to be press the button and hope for it. So I don't know, it's not a touch screen, so then focus there. So this one is saying 1/100th of a second at f2.8 ISO 400. So there we go, guys. Let's have a look and see what happens with this one. Maybe need to get a little bit closer, get it in the middle, zoom in a tad more, change the angle at angle. Alright, so it's about centralised. Let's just turn that around there and make it a little bit more artistic. There we go. Right, so focusing on the head. So here we go. So what we got now? So the it's all changed a bit now. So we're now 40th of a second at f3.2. So here we go. Gently, gently. It's not bad. Let's try one with a flash. It's just a built-in flash. I don't know whether that'll work very well. I think it'll wash it out, I think. But here we go, guys, with one with flash. Oh. And the flash didn't fire. That's auto flash. But anyway, so that's with the little Canon. Let's just do a little bit more. Right, one more with the Canon, guys. Really zoomed in close. Hopefully we're not going to crop anything off. Here we go. So there we go, guys. That's with the little Canon. So I'm going to put my Samsung S9. Yeah, S9 on it. We'll do a couple with the mobile phone as well, guys. So just give me a minute while we swap it around. So there we are, guys. We're now set up with the Samsung Galaxy S9. So that's just sat in the little tripod there with a cheapy phone holder. So we're just going to take, I don't know, 2 or 3 photos with the phone. The phone's actually set at auto, so there's nothing really to do much with the phone. We could switch it over to manual, but I think we'll just change the angle slightly. Just get that. Right, so makes everything locked in. Right, so as I said, just 2 or 3 photos with the phone. We'll do one more for luck, guys. So there you go. So we've done it with the Nikon and with the Canon PowerShot, and now with the phone. So folks, that's the photography done. So I've now got to go and edit that lot up and convert them from a RAW to the JPEGs. Now as for editing, I'm going to do as little as possible. I want it to be as much out of the camera as I possibly can. So I'm hoping to keep the editing to a minimum, if any at all. If I do any editing, I will put a little note on the video or the picture. But as I said, I don't want to do any sort of a massive heavy editing. So guys, I'm now going to go and do that. So that's going to take me probably a couple of hours, but for you, it'll be coming up next. So there you go, guys. That was some tabletop photography. So I really enjoyed that one. That was a bit of fun, setting up the camera and the camcorder, or the EOS M50 for the video in. Bit of a tight squeeze getting it all in, but we managed it, hopefully. So as for the photos, well, yeah, generally I'm quite pleased with them. Yeah, most of them turned out quite well. Some of them were a bit of a failure, but you're not going to get to see them. And at the end, the last 2 or 3 photos taken with the smartphone and the little compact. So that sort of proves that you don't need any fancy cameras to take it. You just really got to adjust the background and your subject matter to suit your camera. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye bye for now.